Multiplying radicals. All right, couple things. What is on the outside stays on the outside. What is on the inside stays on the inside. And when we talk about radicals, inside is here, okay, and the outside is here. So make sure if you're multiplying things on the outside, that's fine. Things on the inside, that's fine. But what's on the outside stays on the outside. What's on the inside stays on the inside. Sometimes it's very helpful to simplify first if you can. Okay, so that is one thing to look at. All right, so right here we have 2 times root 6 times root 2. All right, on the outside we just have a 2, and that's basically times a 1, so it's 2. And then root 6 times root 2, you can do 6 times 2 together. So 2 times root 12. Now, 12 can then be simplified. All right, 12, if you think about your perfect squares, let's list them again. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, 10 times 10. We'll stop there. All right, so what perfect square goes into 12? Yep, that would be 4. So you have 4 times 3. Keep those in radicals. Square root of 4 is 2. So 2 times root 3 gives us 4 root 3. Okay. Next problem, root 6 times root 12. Now, one thing you can look at here, a couple different ways you can attack this problem. You can simplify the 12. That simplifies down to 4 and 3 like you just did over here. The other thing you can think about is you have root 6. And 6 goes into 12. So you could split 12 to root 6 times root 2. Right? Isn't root 6 times root 2 equal to root 12? Okay, because that would be on the inside. So you can split 12 to be root 6 times root 2. Then you have times this other root 6. So root 6 times root 6 is root 36, which is actually, that's on our list, 6. So you end up with 6 root 2. Okay. The other way you could do that, so doing root 6 times root 12 again, they're both on the inside, so you could do root 6 times 12. 6 times 12 is 72. And then you can figure out what perfect square goes into 72. Well, 36 does. Okay. 72 is 36 times 2. Square root of 36 is 6 root 2. So you get the same thing either way. Okay, it doesn't matter which way you want to go. All right, next one, 2 root 3 squared. Well, we've done squares before. We know that that means 2 root 3 times 2 root 3. Well, what's on the outside stays on the outside. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then what's on the inside stays on the inside. Root 3 times root 3 is root 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So 4 times 3 gives us 12. Okay? Just in case you didn't notice, down here when we did root 3 times root 3, that ended up being 3. Up here, root 6 times root 6, that ended up being 6. All right? If you have any square root times itself, square root of 3 times the square root of 3, that is 3. Square root of 9 times the square root of 9, that is 9. Square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is 10. Okay, so those, just keep that in mind. That's a pattern that you know. The reason is because if you take the square root of something times itself, you get that number back. Okay, because what you're doing is the square root of squaring it back to get your 3. In that case right there. All right. Next example, 8 times 6 is 48, and then root 3 times root 6, 3 times 6 is 18. All right, 18 reduces down to 9 times 2. Square root of 9 is 3, so that would be 48 times 3 times root 2. 48 times 3 is 144, root 2, and that's your answer. Now I'm going to switch color and go back and show you this again. If you had gone, okay, back up to here, 8 times 6 is 48, and then you have root 3. In this root 6, we can split root 6 to root 3 times root 2. So root 3 times root 2. Root 3 times root 3 we just discussed is 3, and then 48 times 3, that gives you your 144 root 2. Okay, so again, two different ways to do that problem. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. 12, right here. Again, you're multiplying root 3 times root 12. Well, you can do 3 times 12, which is 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. Okay, that's an easy way to do that problem. Next one, 5 root 3 squared is 5 root 3 times 5 root 3. 5 times 5 is 25. Root 3 times root 3 is, we just talked about that, right? Root 3 times root 3 is 3. 25 times 3 is 75. Next, 4 times 2, that is 8. And then you have root 7 and root 14. You can multiply those, big number, and then figure it out and simplify. Or, I think ahead, 7 times 2 is 14. So I'm going to leave that root 7, and then I'm going to split root 14, because 14 is 7 times 2. So root 7 times root 2. And now, what is root 7 times root 7? We've talked about that. That is 8. So you have 8 times 7, which is 56, and then your root 2. So 56 root 2 is your answer. Next one, root 3 times root 5 times root 10. You can multiply everything there. You can also think, okay, I have a 5. I know that 5 goes into 10. So let's bring down the root 3, bring down the root 5, and then 10, let's split 10 to 5 times 2. So root 5 times root 2. What is root 5 times root 5? 5. And then root 3 times root 2, right? Root 3 times root 2 is root 3 times 2, which is root 6. Okay. And that's how you simplify. You just remember what's on the outside stays on the outside, what's on the inside stays on the inside until you simplify. Alright, and when I mean until you simplify, like here 36 is on the inside, but the square root of 36 is 6, so it's no longer on the inside. It's just more when you're multiplying like 14 down to 7 times 2, it's going to stay there. Alright, and here 3 times 2, that stays under the square root. We don't know what the square root of 6 is. Okay, last page is a you try. Here are some for you to try. Remember the rules. We'll go over them in class, in the next class.